Alright, YouTubers, posting another video. It's been about a year. Still been playing, still been working on stuff. I still want to post videos on how simple things can be, because sometimes getting good at playing lead seems impossible. But here's some lead tricks. The main one is breaking down a chord. Just literally each note in the chord, play it, let it ring out as part of the lead or part of it to start a lead. Most chords can be broken down into just a part of the major scale. Example, I'm going to use jazz chords first because that's my forte, but then I'll use bar chords next. Alright, here's my baby. I'm going to go up the neck a little more. Alright, so here we have one of my favorite jazz chords. And here's another one. That's some new rhythm. Now the chord's made up of this note, this note, this note, this note. This is silent, so this just rings out on its own. So the high E rings out on its own, and this is the chord. That's just in case you want the chord. You can just keep replaying that part to get that chord if you want it. But this is just for example. See, I'll play the chord. So all I did was take notes of that chord and let them ring out by themselves. Now, when I was playing these chords, I realized that they break down into sections of the major scale. So I think this may be the third position in the major scale. Like I said, my theory's not that good, but it's this scale, the one I showed you in my other video. So if you saw my first video, that scale breakdown is in there. And if you play that scale with just some hammer-ons, it has a real nice Spanish harmonic sound to it. But the next step up in that scale is it has more. You can basically just play the pentatonic scale there. And I'm explaining that because if you notice, this chord sits in notes on this scale. So that's how you can play the chord and place it on this scale. The next chord, we're still in that same scale. So then this is the pentatonic position of it, so I can. So you can jump into the scale, real scales, after just breaking down the chord. But the chord is the easiest way to and then you just dive into a scale. So it's a real easy way to add to what you can do. And you don't have to really think about it because you play like a bar chord. Like, all I'm doing is playing. Just playing individual notes. So these three notes are just the bottom of that. And you just so it doesn't sound as fluent as the jazz chords do, but you can still use the technique. And That's also a good way to find scales if you can't just hear it and like, oh, this is the key of E or whatever, and you know what it is, or the key of A. If you can just hear it, then you're already a step ahead of the game because you know what scale to attack with. But breaking down your chords also a way to fall into the scale. That's actually how I've done it, and then eventually my ear caught up to what I figured out. As for any more advice, don't try to do too much, because I found myself sounding stupid playing. That's my daughter. She's a year and a half now since my first video, and she doesn't want me to finish this. But just your leads don't have to be complicated, because if you try to do too much and something doesn't need, like, I'll just basically. You don't want to go too far in something. You don't want to go complicated and mess yourself up. But just the simple things too. Just remember to take your time. Don't go too crazy with it. So just nice and slow, thought out leads can sound just as crazy as stuff like. You don't have to go buck wild to get something, and trying for speed right away is gonna mess up how accurate your right or left hand is. But usually, most people pick with the right. Another quick little lesson on sweep picking: it is everyone's enemy. Sweep picking is anyone's enemy, and that's what I'm gonna do right on the next video. So as soon as I stop this, we're going in the next video on sweep picking. See you in a second.